the United States, GameStop is nothing more than your one-stop shop for games. Well, they've actually got into a whole lot of other stuff in the last couple of years. But as far as games go, video games, especially when video games were big at retail, you know, the launch and everybody shows up, they all got their pre-orders and everything was in hard copy then. And things have gone digital now, so a lot of the companies that make video games are selling their digital copies on their own. They're not using these middlemen, but they are as well using the middlemen. They're just not selling near the amount of hard copies they used to. But GameStop, they've altered their business approach slightly, and it seems to be working. They had earnings today, an earnings per share of 15 cents, missed by a penny. Revenues of 1.69 billion, beat by 50 million. That's up 3.7% year over year. So we're up 3.7% year over year when we talk about retail struggling, but GameStop's in one of those marketplaces where even though they probably are noticing a bit of a crunch, noticing that they have to augment their business, there's still quite a bit of business out there to get because video games are only getting bigger. We see that with every earnings call from a video game developer to publishers to even the statistics we see on the amount of people purchasing hardware, accessories, all that jazz. It's video games are where it's at. So 36% in collectible sales. 36%. This is growth year over year in collectible sales. What are collectible sales? Well, like I was saying, people used to show up to the video game store to buy video games. Now they retail the video game online, digital download that video game and start playing it right away. Unless maybe they purchased a collector's edition and they want all the extra bells and whistles, or maybe they need some accessories or game time cards or whatever it is. But when you're not selling as many hard copy video games, you got to get into something else. GameStop got into collectibles. Pretty smart. Because you know what? The same people that play video games collect a lot of toys, collect a lot of knickknacks. They like Funko Pop. They like Marvel Legends. Why wouldn't you? That stuff's awesome. So while video games are awesome, when you don't sell as many at retail anymore, you need to change your business plan. Little bit. Up 36% year over year in collectible sales. Fairly impressive, GameStop. 14% in new hardware sales. 20+% in digital sales. So the hardware sales are still moving. You're not going to be able to digitally download a PlayStation. That's just not possible. Not yet. But you are going to need to buy that hardware somewhere. If you want it in 2 days, you go to Amazon. But if you want it now, you're going to go to GameStop. You're going to go in there and you're going to pick up that PlayStation. You're going to go home, plug it in, digital download the copy of whatever it is you're wanting to play, and you're going to rip it up. I imagine that's what's going to happen all night. Bam! Getting it done. GameStop helps facilitate that. But their digital downloads are still up. I think it's like 28%. That's great. That's great, but they are competing with a lot of other people, and they've got a bit of a middleman margin, right? We've got to understand that they're paying, there's a bit of a kickback from them. I mean, I'm sure that they have to pay to hold that title, whereas if you're getting it right from the publisher, right from EA, they're obviously not going to charge themselves. Smart, right? So GameStop definitely wants to be up in this market but they're competing with Steam, and I mean, the list goes on, but still, to show that it's up is great. We're not entirely sure if it wasn't bottom of the barrel as far as the other people that are doing this goes, though. So while I see that number, I wonder, why would people be buying it from GameStop unless GameStop's getting some sort of ridiculous good deals, which might be possible. Again, research is the key. We're just looking at the earnings call. The statistics I have say everything's up. Digital sales up 20+%, 14% for new hardware. I mean, we're doing pretty good over at GameStop. A 1.9% increase in comparable store sales. That's a big one. Because while GameStop, I would think, has kind of maxed out what they're doing as far as the people they're drawing in, just because of the digital sales going elsewhere, they have clearly branched out enough that they've brought in a new crowd or retained the crowd they had. with a new bit of merchandise that they're offering. GameStop's earnings come in today, and while GameStop missed on EPS by a penny, GameStop is actually doing really good for retail. This has been a heck of a week and a half for retail calls. I've been pretty impressed. GameStop, you're in the video game racket, bro. That's a heck of a way to make $1.